morning, room 5. Time for Wonderland. The next chapter is Mavis. Mavis couldn't believe her plan hadn't worked. She'd been so sure everything was going to turn out great, but it hadn't. So here she was, sitting outside the gatehouse with Rose, waiting for someone from Wonderland to come and pick up Henry. "I wonder if he won lots of races," Rose said, patting the top of Henry's head. "I bet he does." Suddenly Mavis snapped her fingers. "Hey, we should go there sometime." "Where?" "To Wonderland." Rose shook her head. "My mother doesn't approve of Wonderland. My Uncle AJ goes there and loses lots of money." "We could go to watch sometime," Mavis said. "We wouldn't even have to tell anybody. It would be like our first best friend club field trip." Rose got that worried look that Mavis knew well. "Oh, forget it then," Mavis said. "I'll go by myself." Rose didn't answer, so Mavis said it again. "I'll go by myself." Then, just as Mavis was starting to get irritated, a white van pulled up to the gatehouse. Painted on the side in black letters was Wonderland Greyhound Park, Palomino Road, Laundry, Alabama. A bald-headed man wearing a red Wonderland t-shirt got out of the van. Over the pocket of his shirt was the name Roger. "Well, you little devil," he said to Henry. "We've been looking all over for you." Henry put his tail between his legs and hung his head. Then the man slipped a collar and a leash over Henry's head and said, "Thanks for calling me, you all." Before Mavis even had a chance to hug Henry goodbye, the man scooped him up and put him into the crate at the back of the van. "Bye, Henry," Mavis called. "Bye, Henry," Rose called. The man climbed into the driver's seat, draped his arm out the window and gave Rose and Mavis a wave. "Can we come and watch him race sometime?" Mavis asked as the van was backing away from the gatehouse. "This one ain't racing no more," the man said. Then the van drove off, leaving a puff of black smoke behind him. Rose. "Wait! Stop!" Mavis was running after the van, but it didn't stop. It kept on going until it disappeared from sight. Mavis stopped running and stomped her foot. "Dang it!" Rose ran to catch up with her. "What's wrong?" she said. "What's wrong? Didn't you hear what the man said?" "About what?" "About Henry." Mavis gestured in the direction where the van had disappeared. Henry doesn't race anymore." So why is he there?" "Well, I guess we have to go there," Mavis said. Rose had a bad feeling that Mavis was about to talk her into something she wouldn't want to do. "Go where?" she asked. But she knew the answer. "Wonderland," Mavis said, throwing her arms out and then dropping them with a loud slap against her legs. Yep, Rose was right. Mavis was going to try and convince her to go to Wonderland. But that would be crazy. In fact, that would be the craziest thing Rose had ever done. Crazier than going back into those woods where she wasn't supposed to go. Crazier than taking those little quiches her mother always kept for company. Crazier than bringing Henry to Mr. Duffy. "Don't you get it?" Mavis said. "If Henry isn't racing anymore, then what is he doing there? What happens to the dogs who don't race? Maybe they get sent to a dog pound or something. Let's go and find out. How are we going to go get to Wonderland? I don't even know for sure where it is. But I know it's the way on the other side of the highway. I'm not even allowed to go near the highway. We'll ride bikes. We could do it." Then Mavis started rambling on and on about how they could go to Wonderland and find Henry. Mavis always made things sound so easy. Suddenly there were two Roses. One Rose wanted to say no. She wanted to say forget it. She wanted to go back home and sit in Grace's room all by herself. But the other Rose wanted to do their special handshake and say, "Let's go for it." But both Roses just stood there, listening to Mavis make everything sound easy. Mavis. "Geez, you would have thought I committed a crime or something," Mavis's mother said as she took pizza out of the microwave. "It looked like a sugar bowl to me. How was I supposed to know it was for the salt?" She cut the pizza into slices and dropped one onto the plate for Mavis. Who's ever heard of a salt cellar anyway?" she said. While Mavis ate her pizza, her mother went on and on about Mrs. Tully, how she had gotten so irritated when her mother didn't know how to cook artichokes. And who cares whether you serve the chicken platter from the left or the right? And what's the point of having dishes that you can't even put in the dishwasher? But Mavis wasn't listening. She was thinking. Could she convince Rose to go with her to Wonderland? If she could, where would they get another bike? Mavis had only seen one in the garage. If they did get another bike, would they be able to find Wonderland? And if they did, could they even get in? And if they got in, would Henry still be there? Oh, so many questions. Rose. When the Ode to Joy doorbell rang, Rose opened the front door and there was Amanda Sims. I'm selling raffle tickets for my swim team, Amanda said, to raise money for a meet in Birmingham. How much are they? Rose asked. They're $5 each and there's a bunch of prizes, including a weekend timeshare condo in the Smoky Mountains, Amanda said. Will you ask your mum? Sure, just a minute. Rose found her mother on the screened porch, reading, and told her about Amanda's raffle tickets. Her mother said she'd buy 5. When Rose returned to the front door with the money, Amanda thanked her and turned to leave. Wait, Rose said. Amanda waited. Rose shifted from one foot to the other. In her head, she argued with herself. Ask her. Don't ask her. Ask her. Don't ask her. And then she did. Can Mavis and I borrow your bike? She asked. Amanda narrowed her eyes. What for? Just to ride. Ride where? Then Rose argued with herself again. Fib, don't fib. Fib, don't fib. And then she did. To ride around Magnolia Estates, she fibbed. Maybe we can come to some of your swim meets. Amanda cocked her head and had sceptical written all over her face. If she didn't answer soon, Rose was going to slam the door and run up to Grace's room. But then Amanda said, Sure, I guess so. Rose couldn't wait to tell Mavis that she had asked Amanda about borrowing the bike. She was so proud of herself that she called Grace and told her about Mavis's crazy plan to go to Wonderland. No way, Grace said. Yes way. Rose, that's awesome, Grace said. I'm so glad you have a friend like Mavis. Yeah, me too. But of course, Rose didn't tell Grace that she didn't really want to go to Wonderland, that the thought of riding her bike across the highway gave her a stomachache, and that she could never be as brave and as adventurous as Mavis was. That evening, the Magnolia Estate Garden Club sat on the Tully's patio, sipping sweet tea and talking about Mr. Duffy. Rose sat on the window seat in Grace's room and listened with a knot of dread growing inside of her. Sometimes I wonder if he's going deaf, one of the ladies said. I specifically told him my niece was coming last Tuesday, and he swears up and down I never did. When Wanda Lawrence came to hang my new drapes, another lady said, she told me he had been sleeping when she stopped at the gatehouse. The others mumbled things like, good heavens, and seriously? Rose could picture them down there, nibbling on their quiches and nodding at one another. And it made her feel terrible when she realised they were right. But was Mavis right? If Mr. Duffy had another dog to love, would he really be like his old self again? And could he ever love Henry the way he'd loved Queenie? But that didn't matter anyway, because Henry belonged to Wonderland. Still, Mavis had a point. If Henry wasn't racing, why was he there? And then one of the ladies down the patio said, well, personally, I think it's time to discuss Mr. Duffy at our next board meeting. Those words hit Rose hard, like a punch. So she made a decision right then and there. She'd go to Wonderland with Mavis.